So our last topic or part we are going to be looking at is the gym emergency preparedness. Health and safety policies and emergency preparedness (EPP) are two documents, like very essential documents the gym must possess. So these documents ensure that this gym is operating under the legal guidelines, the legal policies for both the clients and staffs under health and safety and the preparedness or readiness for emergency in a gym or fitness space. But in this training, we're going to be handling or focusing on emergency preparedness. What is emergency preparedness? The short form is just, I'm going to be saying EPP just to make sure I'm not calling it in full or long, but we just know that we should know that EPP means emergency preparedness policy. It's a comprehensive document that identifies threats and clearly lays out the procedures on what to do during certain emergencies. The purpose of an EPP is to facilitate and organize the employer and employee during these workplace emergencies. Everyone in the business or everyone in the fitness space or facility should be aware of what to do in case of emergencies. So we are not just talking about the fitness professionals or the staff. We're talking about the customers, your clients. They should be aware of emergency procedures in the gym. So when you are doing an induction for your fitness, also for your clients or your members, there should be a document or there should be a part of the forms that they're picking on or they're signing that has, or there should be a manual that has this emergency readiness or procedures that should be taken. For example, things like exit, what you should do when there's fire. They should know where the emergency exit is. They should know what to do in case something, something like we said, what emergency, something you're not prepared for happens. They should know the procedure to follow in terms of this happenings. So an EPP specifies procedures for handling sudden or unexpected situations with the emergencies. And the objective is to be prepared. So to be prepared means you should be ready to prevent injuries, fatalities, and also reduce or remove damage to the building and equipment. But honestly, the major thing here is to reduce fatalities, deaths, and injuries of your clients, and even you as a fitness professional, you as a gym owner, you as a manager of a gym. To create an EPP for your gym, please, you can contact us, the Institute of Registered Exercise Professionals. But we're going to focus on four aspects for this workshop in developing a gym's EPP document. The first one is you need to determine evacuation. Your EPP must determine the evacuation procedures and emergency escape route assignments or designated escape routes, like I said earlier. There should be a flow map diagram somewhere in your gym, should in case there probably is a fire and you cannot even announce, there should be somewhere in the gym where people can see the emergency routes to take when, for example, fire comes up throughout the gym and specifically in the floor areas of the facilities. This should be obvious, put them in locations such as exits, such as your boards where, where people can read it easily. First aid kits and, AED kits should also be clearly marked. There should also be a part of your gym that has, where the emergency contacts are. For example, the emergency where you can call the fire service, where you can call an ambulance, qualified or certified first aiders in the gym. As a fitness professional, you should also be a qualified first aider and somewhere in the gym where, if there's an emergency, you should be easily called that there's an emergency and we have a qualified fitness trainer in the building or somewhere close by that can come to rescue the person. There should be and accommodate emergency exits. And there should also be a muster point for where um, clients can assemble or where they should go to in terms of emergency. Secondly, there should be a clear chain of command. In your EPP, you must implement a clear chain of command and of designate the right people authorized to order an evacuation. There should be an authorized designation for people who can carry out this evacuation, because these are the people that are properly trained, and they are aware of these procedures. When an evacuation is necessary, you will need responsible, trained individuals, like I said, who can supervise and coordinate activities to ensure a safe and successful evacuation. And it is very experienced and important for you as a fitness professional or an employee in a fitness space to know who the coordinator is and understand the roles they have to play and the authority they have in these situations. This will be easily, and this will make it very easy to to control or curtail situations, because in states of emergency, we're just talking about it lightly. There's 100% chance for chaos to happen because there's no chain of command. There's 100% chance for it to get worse if there's no chain of command. But when you know who and what and where the person is, or who can guide us through this evacuation, or who can guide us through what we need to do in cases of emergency, we're able to, go through it easily without getting people hurt or injured. Thirdly, is you need to be able to account for people. Your EPP must account for all your employees, the persons occupying the building after emergency evacuation. That's why it's always good to, take a register of people that come into the gym at a particular time. There should be, like, for example, we've all gone digital where, clients just have to swipe a card or, probably put a fingerprint in at the entrance of the gym. If they're able to do this, you're aware of everyone in the building at every certain time. And if you're aware of every person in the building at each certain time, if an emergency occurs, you know the amount of people you are going to be dealing with, or you know the amount of people that needs to be evacuated, and you might even be able to track their location. For example, if it's a very big facility with different spaces, you're able to track where everyone is. You're able to say, okay, please just wait here, and we're going to send the first aider to you. Just wait here, the fire service is coming to meet you, because everyone knows your location. So you should be able to account for people easily. Lastly, you need to be able to coordinate with authorities. Like I said, there should be your emergency preparedness should document. The EPP should also have how to contact the police, the fire service, ambulances, hospitals, WhatsApp operation, power companies. It's very important to visit these places as well, to get familiar with the organization so you can fully understand how they operate during emergencies. So once an EPP is ready and finalized, you will need to thoroughly train all employees and building occupants on the plan. Most often in a proper gym facility, or even in any building in the world, they usually do monthly or quarterly checks on emergency. For example, the fire alarm can just go. We want to see how prepared we are. So everything we've just talked about on the EPP document comes into play. The person that is involved in the person involved in the chain of command, the person authorizing everything you're supposed to do for evacuation, comes into action. You're able to know that if there's an emergency, it's just like will I call it like I'm looking for the word on the top, right at the top of my head, but it's just like you refreshing what you're supposed to do after you've been trained, because every employee must be trained, and you also need to be able to practice this even if there's not an emergency, but you should be able to know what to do when an emergency comes up. And honestly, to a take-home message from this workshop will be that, if all fitness facility owners, managers, and staff, and us as fitness professionals keep this higher calling of ethical practice, We've covered three different subtopics: ethics as a fitness trainer, um, gym equipment management, and emergency readiness. You will be able to progressively achieve lofty health goals. You will be able to retain your members and create, an impact in the health and wellness of the general population whilst growing your business financially. But the important thing I need us to also take again is we are dealing with lives here. We're dealing with human beings here. If you're not ready, if you're not ready to deal with an emergency, there'll be a high level of fatality. There'll be a high level of injury. If you don't understand the code of conduct as a fitness professional, you won't be able to retain your clients. You won't be able to, practice within your professional guidelines or as a professional. So honestly, the, I feel we just covered we just scratched the surface on this topic, or do some research. Every industry in the world, the healthcare industry, engineering, financial buildings, and things like that, they all have ethical practice, and we want you guys to know that there is a code of conduct as a fitness professional, most especially if you're on the register of exercise professional, or if you're a qualified or certified professional. You should know that there are guidelines for your practice and conduct as a fitness professional, and you should also be aware of the health and safety measures you should take in terms of emergencies. Thank you guys for your attentiveness. Thank you for listening. And now, if you've got any questions, if you've got something that's been burning in your mind since we started this workshop, you can just ask away now. So I'll just go over it. We'll just pass it over to John. We'll just moderate this section. Thank you.